Javon Foster, left tackle, Missouri. He's 6'5", 319. Prowler Digital recommended that I watch Javon, which I appreciated. I'm still getting familiar with most of the names in this class. I like Javon a lot for a mid-round guy. He's got some inconsistencies in pass protection, but I do like him very much as a run blocker. This is him versus LSU. They're running outside zone. He's essentially being asked to reach. Given that this player is far outside of him, let's say in a 9 technique, he's not going to be able to reach him. I like that he gets under the pads of the defender. I like his hand placement very much, the outside breast with his outside arm, and the inside number with his inside arm. He's trying to get his helmet placed on the outside breast. You can tell he knows his responsibility here in the run game. Once he fits him up, you can see the leg drive and how he pushes him out of the play, and they are able to run behind him. What we saw in the previous play, we see frequently with him. He's very adept at reaching defenders wide and making sure they're sealed out of these B-gap runs. Doesn't mean he always fits it up perfectly. You can see here he's got a hand low, but he's shooting for that inside number with that, and he's got his hand on the outside breast, and he's got impressive leg drive once he does fit guys up. It's worth noting as well, he's going up against Georgia and Tennessee and Kentucky and LSU, so quality opponents week to week. You can see him step inside, grab the 3 technique. They're going to use this tight end coming across to kick out the end man. Does a good job getting his hands inside, dropping his hips, moving his waist around, and the tailback runs behind him on a key 3rd and 2. Good power to be able to move the 3 tech here. Something that Javon excels at is double team blocks. I wish I had pulled some of those plays to show, but if you watch the Kentucky and the Kansas State games, you'll see he gets great movement consistently on double teams with the guard. He also looks really good on the move. We'll try to highlight that in a few plays. Skip pull here. They're going to use him as the lead through on counter. Watch him get on this defensive back. Javon is uncovered against this 3-man front. They're going to get him out on the move and in space as the lead block on a screen to that side. Watch it again. Watch Javon help just enough with his inside arm, just making sure that inside gap is covered, but then open up a big hole on the 2nd level, getting on this middle linebacker. Watch it again. Protector, there are some inconsistencies that show up. I will say, however, that I like him a lot better than many of the names that are being touted. Patrick Paul and the like, a bit more than he is, or you're hearing their names more than his. In terms of projection, they are projected several rounds or 2 rounds ahead of him typically. He's got a good 2-hand punch when he times it up. That's the key, I think. When he gets his hands inside, the way we see it here, he can lock guys up. Again, we see him do a nice job getting his hands inside, resetting, moving his feet, and protecting the pocket. Javon is, for the most part, a guy who really battles in pass protection. There are times where you'll see him sort of stop his feet and allow guys to slide off his blocks. Another thing you see too much of him doing in pass pro is chasing defenders. This video picks up a little funny, but he's going to work inside to try to cut off his interior gap. The defender gets outside of him. Javon's going to shoot with both arms or lunge, kind of bend at his waist and lunge, miss, and then have to give chase. Again, in pass protection, Javon's going to play high, shoot his arms wide and outside of the target, become off balance, get turned, and allow the defender to slip off of him. This is certainly something you see with him, as I pointed out earlier. Instead of reworking his hands and moving his feet, his inclination is to flip his hips and run and try to outmuscle the defender. Sometimes that works for him, sometimes it doesn't. We see something similar here. George is going to run a twist to his side. He's going to lunge, bend at the waist, and shoot there. He's off balance as he does. Defender beats him outside. Instead of dropping his hand to the near hip and trying to drive him past the pocket, he flips, keeps his hands high, and runs with the defender. Javon is a guy I like, although it might not sound like it from the last few clips. Definitely has some cleanup work to do if he's going to play tackle. I do wonder about a move inside for him. In either case, he's developmental, but I would say he's farther along than a lot of the guys the Ravens have drafted on day 3 in the past few years and tried to move them outside to in. I think Javon's certainly worth a shot in the 4th round. He's a battler, and I like him very much as a run blocker.